I'm trying to put money in your pocket, that crypto wallet, that bing bada bing ching ching big profit. Even when the market's sideways.
I'm about to drop some hugely powerful alpha. And that's what they call it. They call it alpha, believe me. Okay? And not many people know this, but alpha means that I know big things, strong things, powerful things. So here's the alpha, folks. If you want to be hugely rich like me, you got to join and subscribe to the BLEEVESCRYPTO YouTube channel. You got to become a member because many people say, quite frankly, it's the strongest YouTube channel out there. It's fantastic. It's the best. So let me know what you think, folks. Funny Donald Duck.
I'm looking for ways to get paid. I'm checking my coins around breakfast, then again around bedtime. Bet this, it's not financial advice, but I'm always right. 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 Lady, and I got my shine. Money in my pocket and we're feeling fine. Radio's loud and we're playing Sublime. I think it's gonna be a good day, my oh my. I can't believe I made it this far, it's a miracle. Floating in the clouds now, used to be miserable. Never looking back since I changed my ways. I'm on that good life tip today. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Sitting on top of the world, I wanna be shining like diamonds and pearls. I want you to go there with me, girl. I'm looking for the good life, good life. Baby, we can have it all. We can make love by the waterfalls. I'm living that good life after all. Yeah. La da da da, good life, sitting by the fire. La da day, good life, feeling that breeze.
What is going on, everybody? I hope you're having a great evening. My name is Bleeves. We are here for Bedtime with Bleeves, where I'm going to tuck you in with all of that sweet, sweet, juicy knowledge that you've been looking for about the crypto business and what is going on. But the White House has pulled a tank out, and they are taking shots at cryptocurrency tonight. Joe Biden, in a prepared statement, said, that money from the people on the spacey box thing, that's not good. And foreign murders are also fring. So you should be very scared, I think. So the White House has issued a statement saying that they don't find any value in cryptocurrency and that they think that it is kind of an attack on fiat, which, by the way, is exactly what Donald Trump said. So it looks like the old dummies just don't get it. Now, that doesn't mean that look, they have veto power. That's it. So all we need is legislation in that regards. So not really concerned with what the White House or Joe Biden or even Donald Trump say. By the way, are we mad at anybody who's a Donald Trump fan? Anybody who's a Donald Trump fan? Are you mad that you were lied to because he said, I'm getting arrested on many people are saying I'm getting arrested on Tuesday and it's going to be like super bad and bigliest and I'm going to go to jail and they're going to perp walk me and you can bank on it. Now, he lied to you. Are you still sitting there like, it's cool? Because if you are, that makes you the bitch in the relationship. So if that's who you are, that's okay. But just remember, that is who you are in the relationship. So that being said, let's get into what else is going on. Oh, yeah. By the way, just in case anybody forgot, if anybody is here and they forgot one of the very important things, because he's been out here today with his cape on talking about, they're not going to come get me. This is the wrong thing. They didn't do this. This is crazy. I can't believe they would ever do this. That is unbelievable. That is unbelievable that they would ever do this to me. Well, here it is.
So number one is Sandbox. Number two and number three, some coins I've been talking about a lot and speaking very favorably of, you got to go with FTT.
Got to go with who?
Stuff. So number 1 is Sandbox. Number 2 and number 3, some coins I've been talking about a lot and speaking very favorably of, you got to go with FTT and CRO. I really believe these 100%. Stuff. So number 1 is Sandbox.
You believe them 100%? Okay, if I got this right, Funky McDuncanstein, the driving Dunkin' Donuts guy, said Sandbox. And then my number 2 and my number 3, you got to go with FTT and Crow 100%. Did I miss anything? Is there anything that I didn't get in that? Because if I feel like I got that whole thing, like I don't think I misunderstood him, right? He did say exactly what he said. This Adam Abramowitz guy, he can't be doing this to me. He did say it, right? We heard it, right? So just in case, Adam, if you're out there, we got the tape. So let's move on. You young little hussies who got lied to by Donald Trump and liked it. Lap it all up. Lap it all up. And you Democrats who just got hosed by Joe Biden and who said, oh, I hate cryptocurrency. And how do you spell cryptocurrency? What were we talking about? I love nachos. Also, I got hair on my legs, and all the kids used to play with the hair on my legs when I was a kid. And certain Fergenberg, or whatever it is that Joe Biden says. I'm not sure what he says, but let's get into the market. Let's get into what is going on. Let's start with the mini news. That is, the pre-market is basically where we would expect it to be the day before the FOMC. We don't know what the rates are going to be, but we do know that there are going to be rates. It's about all you can say at this point, but it's pretty much a toss-up at this point. Now, I don't have an opinion about that, but I did want to pause right there. Now, we have Ethereum down to 1794, Bitcoin 2810. I had a conversation this morning, by the way. Before we move on, I had a conversation this morning, and I want to bring up a chart, by the way. This is the Ethereum chart, right? And I was having a conversation early this morning talking about the price action, right? And look, the cryptocurrency a stock chart, all charts are a history of predictability patterns for what a person's going to do, right? Now, yesterday we talked about this, right? I said Ethereum is on a downtrend, right? So we're going to continue to see lows because it's trending down. Even when it had a pump over here, that pump didn't come up here to touch this line and go higher. Even that was down just a little bit. And you can see here, the tops are lower each time, right? So, and we're seeing that, right? We know that's happening. Now, if that's happening, then that means that there's going to be sell pressure. When that sell pressure hits, there's not going to be enough buy pressure to buy it back up. So I was having a conversation this morning about 1,816, like these prices up here, thinking that this was just going to start ripping to the upside because, you know, I'd read off of some stuff about 1,900 and stuff like that. And I said, listen, it's going to go back down here to 1,780. I'm going to wait for it at 1,780 because it's going to hit this 50 SMA before it does anything. And the person was like, no. It's right here. It's like it's going. I'm like, but no, it's got to retest that 50 SMA. Well, it took 3 hours, but guess what? The most believable man in crypto, Mr. Always Right himself, was always right again. Folks, when I tell you that we're going to go down and that we're going to test these lines, I'm not always going to be right. I'm never going to be right with 100% certainty. That will never happen because I just can't be. God damn it. And I hate, you know what? Share your own goddamn screens. Just pretend like I'm showing, like, you know what I mean? Just pretend. Anyway, so as you can see right here, we were trading this morning at this level. And I swear to God, I felt like I was sharing the screen. Ain't that a bitch? So we were up here and it was that feeling like right after the show was over, we were right here at this 9 o'clock candle. And look at this 9 o'clock candle. 9 o'clock candle had a nice little run, but I said, we're coming back down here right now. I sold my bag right here around 15. Now, I did admittedly miss this big run up, but I don't care about that. What I care about is, do I get in down here and do I get out up here? That's the important part, because that's where I make the money, right? So I said, this is coming back down and it's going to test this yellow line. I don't know where that yellow line is going to be. I think it's going to be around 1780. That's what it looks like to me. And they were like, no. Looks like it's going to run. It looks like it. Then they got in like 1816, and I waited until 1780. Now, here's the thing. When I got to 1780 and I hit the buy button, the first transaction failed and the second transaction was already up to 1786. So I did not go back in because I wasn't going to pay 1786, because I knew my number was down here at 1780. And so I did not get in, but I did know it was coming down here. And guys, look, this is a predictability pattern that we're staring at. This is telling you what's going to happen. And I'm telling you, I can do an okay job of reading it. So just believe me when I say things are going to happen. I'm not going to always be right. I'm not the person that you do your research on. I'm a moron like everybody else, right? But it's a predictability pattern, and I can see what the predictability pattern says. And it says right now that the most probable pattern to happen at this moment is we're going to hit this SMA right here, and we're probably going to break through. And then this one right here is most likely going to be tested. And then by morning, we're going to be back up here in this range. And by the afternoon, when we get towards the FOMC, which is over to 22nd at right here. So by the time it comes over here and we test this thing at this spot right here, by that point, we're going to go out of our goddamn minds, because we're going to get either 25 basis points. And I don't know. I don't know if the Fed is going to do a rate pause. I don't know if they're going to announce it. I don't know if there's going to be anything dovish. This is going to be the opportunity for the Fed to kind of take a more dovish approach and maybe, just maybe, save some banks along the way. Now, if all of that happens, hey, Bree's in the house. What's going on, girl? If they can save the banks, if they can salvage some of this, it's going to take a dovish approach. Now, we don't know if that's going to happen, but here's the part that matters. Whether they do or not, the banks are covered by the Fed. So nobody really gives a shit what they say at this point. What matters is they are going to run up this market, right? And I don't mean the Fed, but the investors are going to run up this market because it makes perfect sense at this point. Now, Matty B wants to see that because he wants to see the interest rates come down, because I don't know why. Matty's always been pretty consistent about what he thinks and that he wants this to happen, but it's destroying banks. All these regional banks that the Fed just said they're not going to help, that they're going to help the big banks, and they're going to try to consolidate power into a bigger, more global conglomeration. So that, and really, it's just what's happening right now. And the Fed policy is to make the rich get richer. Every Fed policy is based on the rich getting richer. Listen, what they want you to do is they want you to lose your job, right? Because that slows the economy down and it stops you from buying, and it stops the buy pressure, and it creates sell pressure, which makes prices go down, right? So they want you to lose your job. That's what is happening. And then the banks, the small banks, if the small banks start failing because of this policy, guess what? Oh, well, the big banks got you. So where's the money going to go? The money's going to go into the big banks, who will then be even more liquid. And that's going to play. Look, it's putting undue pressure on the small, on the retail, on the regionals, on the locals, and it's giving the nationals everything and all the ammunition they need. So at this point, if they do a Fed rate hike at this point, they're the goddamn villain of this story. The Fed in no way is the white knight in any way. They are now the villain of this story if they raise rates at all. And in order to save face in this market, they're probably going to raise rates, because they're going to have to, because if they don't, and they don't follow through on what they said, then some asshole out there is going to go, Wah! And they can't have that. I don't know why they can't have that, but they can't have that. And look, there's a logical reason. There's a logical reason because, again, if they're pumping money out here into the economy for people, then the price of everything is just going to run up, right? So they're right in what they're doing, but there's absolutely no way that this can be maintained. And you can't, the way that they're doing it right now is killing the small businesses. It's killing retail. So this is a problem. And Miyamoto, thank you for the $20 bomb. It's a pleasure to watch the Bleeves Crypto live stream. We've been spoiled as of late, but remember the difference between bull run and bull market. The market, whether green or red, will continue to build daily. NGN is coming through big time. BitForex, by the way, is on there. Since we are talking about Miyamoto right now, let's go ahead and share the screen one more time, and let's get over to the announcement, and that is right here. NGN USDT pairing will be available on BitForex soon. Next Generation Network is a decentralized mainnet project aimed at providing a trust infrastructure in a community, and it is trading on BitForex. Now, they don't have a listing date yet. That'll come up very shortly, but as soon as it comes up, then we will report it to you, and then you can start trading. And in fact, look here, they've got Baby Doge that's trading over there, Lithosphere over there trading. Like, this is a pretty big, this is a top 50 exchange. So there's going to be a lot of there's going to be a lot of opportunity over here. And remember, just in the last 24 hours, NGN was trading more than Volt Inu on second BTC, which is absolutely crazy to me, considering the amount of volume that's happening over on Volt. If you go look at what is trading on Volt, it was near 20 million. It's $19 million right now being traded on Volt. So and look at this, by the way, Huobi was, or not Huobi, but Poloniex was out of control. Poloniex was almost at 9 million. So Poloniex is trading $9 million. The people at Poloniex absolutely love Volt. So this kind of trading volume, by the way, all of this kind of stuff keeps going and it continues to build and they continue to add new things. Then Volt is on its way. And there's two big catalysts, by the way. Let's go ahead and get those out of the way right now. Pablo Crow and his not pink hair, by the way, I might add, I do want to say that. I think it's very important that we all recognize Pablo does not have, he does not have pink hair for some reason. And it's because he says that they're going to have the all-time high by the end of the month. Now, if they're going to have the all-time high by the end of the month, then Pablo doesn't have to do it. But do you know what? Do you know who has to? You know who has to get blonde hair?
What's up, everybody? Just your friendly reminder that Bleeves is always wrong and loves to copy my thumbnails. Happy Friday.
That thumbnail better be blonde, son. You know what I'm saying, right? You get it. Because that shit, no, absolutely not. So we're voting, by the way, we're going for Pablo. We definitely want Pablo to win this because we want Jake to have blonde hair so that he can match his boyfriend, Rodney. Woohoo! Kissy, kissy, kissy. Let's go to a party and let's dance, dude. Let's just go. Like, I just assume that that's how they talk to each other. Let's just go do something over here. Like, let's just, we'll just go out here and we'll get a couple of hags with us so that it looks like we're, and then we'll do our thing. Thank you for the $10 bomb. Crypto Shop, Hobbs in the house. NGN live stream in the shop needs to happen with me, you, and Justin. Miyamoto, get it done. Love you, please. I appreciate you, man. Thank you so much for that. Speaking of which, Hobbs will not be on the show Thursday morning, but there is a special guest. I'm not telling you who it is, but I do have a special, and The Rock said, you know what? I can't do it like this. I got to do it like this. And The Rock says special gift, guest person that'll be here 8:30 Thursday morning for the last 10 minutes of the show. So we're going to wrap it up. We're going to do it as quickly as we can from 8 to 8:30 because we have a very special, one of the most vaulted people that you could ever even imagine. No, not Elon Musk, if anybody's asking that question, because, Voltoshi, Elon, you know what I mean? But it's not Elon Musk. And by virtue, that's obviously, I'm saying it's not Voltoshi because that is the case. And it's not Pablo, by the way. So one of the most vaulted people you can possibly imagine is going to be here Thursday morning at 8:30. So you better make sure that you're tuned in. Maybe we'll even give away some more Volted Believers. And if you haven't already, go to Twitter and you can see Volted Believer hats everywhere. Now, does that mean that maybe Miyamoto and Kings might be reaching out and we might be having Network Believer coming soon? I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know. I have no reason. I have no way of knowing that. All I can do is hint at stuff like that. But, you know, you never know. You never know what happens, right? Anyway, so Pablo, I mean, he's ugly, right? Woo, gross. We'll be giving away 5 billion tokens. How to qualify. Like and retext this post. So we're going to like this and we're going to retext this, right? We're going to retweet it. Then we're going to follow Pablo and Volt Inu. We're already doing that. And you must purchase 200 million tokens with a fresh wallet. I don't want to win, so we're not going to do that. But if you want an opportunity to win 5 billion, all you have to do is go buy at least 200 million tokens with a fresh wallet. Remember, there is a 13% buy tax, so make sure that you buy 226 million total tokens in a fresh wallet. And ta-da, you can win up to 5 billion total tokens. I don't know how many winners there's going to be. I'm sure he's talking about that, but I assume, let me translate for you, by the way. Let's go back here and I'm just going to translate for what Pablo is saying here. And I'm going to put that on mute there so that we don't, but he's saying bullish, 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 bullish. So I can't be any more specific than that. Fresh wallet will be a first-time buyer. When you pop in, you'll be a new buyer into Volt Inu. That's what it is. So it's going to be a fresh wallet that you haven't competed with, you haven't used before to buy Volt Inu. I assume that's to run up the number of holders. I mean, it would be just a guess at this point. But anyway, bullish, right? Bullish, bullish, bullish. All right, so let's get back into it. You know, one day he's just going to rub pink hair all over me or something. Like, I don't know how it ends, but probably stabbing, I guess, I would assume. Anyway, let's get into the news. White House says crypto does not offer any fundamental value. Again, Joe Biden says, where's my blanket? Am I sleeping? What time is it? Who's president anyway? You know what I mean? I just assume that's what he says. Janet Yellen says U.S. could back all deposits at smaller banks if needed to prevent contagion. And look at Janet Yellen. It's like if Andy Warhol had the blood sucked out of him. You know what I mean? Like just weird look, just odd, not peculiar. I should say peculiar. I shouldn't, because I'm not going to say, I'm not going to say like a biscuit eating uggo. You know what I mean? Like just odd, a little bit strange, a little odd. Janet Yellen, anyway, says that the government, we broke, dog, but we got plenty of cash. So they're going to cover everybody. Now, here's the thing to remember on this, right? If I'm a bank, I don't give a shit at this point, right? Because I've been stifled by the interest rates. I've been forced to lose money, to not be able to continue to do business that I need to do in order to continue to maintain capital. Like I've been put in a bad situation by the federal government, and now the federal government is saying, let's do it. So guess what? I'd be loaning money left and right. I would be loading up cash in fucking spitballs if I was a bank, because if the treasury is going to bail me out, I'd be just like, you want $100,000? There you go, daddy. What do you mean you got a 300 credit score? I didn't even know they were that low. Who gives a shit? So I would be throwing money out the door, right? So just remember that this is probably what we're going to see. White House takes aim at crypto in scathing economic report. Now, what they said in the economic report was that they felt like it didn't have any inherent value and that it was an attack on fiat. The White House said that they think that cryptocurrency is an attack on fiat. White House, you goddamn right it is. Because fiat currency is how you use money and funds to control all of us, and we don't want to be controlled anymore. We just want you to back off. We want you to give us the freedom and liberty that we were promised a long time ago. So get away, chill the fuck out, go back to sleep. Kamala Harris, go back into hiding. You know what I mean? Just go away. Go away until you understand. Next, will the Fed stop rate hikes? Here's 5 things to note in Bitcoin for the week. All right. So the macro event of the week is undeniably the March 22nd Fed rate decision, or lack thereof. The FOMC faces a stark challenge to its current quantitative tightening policy in place for the past 18 months. They've already added $300 billion onto their books through quantitative easing that they did on Friday. The unfolding bank crisis has put into doubt the Fed's ability to keep raising interest rates, a policy some commentators argue was the death knell for struggling region banks. The Fed is nonetheless caught between a rock and a hard place. Raising rates would keep inflation in check, but further punish the economy, possibly unleashing a new wave of bank failures. Now, one of the things that this is really just like kind of they flipped the narrative, right? You can see that all the people that were, by the way, let's get green here. Let's get green. There we go. You can see that the narrative has changed, right? And that's just because they're looking at they're looking at now the people that matter. Like suddenly we matter. That's the important thing right here. We now matter. We didn't matter very much before. The Fed is nonetheless caught between a rock and a hard place. Next week's FOMC is gearing up to be one of the most interesting ones in a while, with no one really agreeing on what's going to happen. According to CME Group FedWatch tool, the consensus as of March favors the Fed hiking by 25 basis rather than pausing. The week prior, Goldman Sachs predicted the rate would plateau, while Nomura even forecast a rate cut. This week, the long-anticipated March Fed interest rate decision comes out. Currently, markets are pricing a 62% chance of a 25% BPS hike. If we get that, we're good to go. However, markets also see a 100 BPS of rate cuts by December. That is going to be a problem later on. Kobayashi and others also queried how struggling bank stocks would react at the next Wall Street Open, given the latest government moves over the weekend, including a buyout of Credit Suisse, the European banking giant that saw a particularly violent reaction to the U.S. meltdown. So Bitcoin is now eyeing 30,000. Analyst heralds the end of the bear market. No shit. So, and that was wrecked capital, by the way. All new all-time highs due for Bitcoin difficulty. So we're getting towards the halving. So we'll start to see all of this stuff, and the most greed on Bitcoin since the price was 69,000. The crypto fear and greed index is right now at 68. When they did this article, it was at 66. So we're getting even greedier than we were before. Now let's move on. Bittrex CEO predicts an aggressive institutional adoption of crypto as big players exploit opportunities. And what have I been telling you guys for the last little bit? American markets have been very weak so far. They haven't really jumped in the way that they could jump, and they've been a little bit nervous about what's going on. But with China, with China flooding capital into the markets and adding liquidity, and with the United States back and being forced into adding liquidity into the markets, and with Europe now adding liquidity through Credit Suisse and other banks, as the other banks are going to struggle as well. With all of these things happening, then you're about to see institutions have to layer in at a good position. Now, that does mean, by the way, that let's go back over here to Bitcoin and let's take a quick look here. This right here, this is not where they get layered in. Okay, it is my estimation, and just take it for what you will, that we're going to run probably tomorrow. We're going to run to 30,000. We might even just take off and run a little bit hotter. But once that's done, once we get one of these big numbers here, once we get one of these with a giant wick like this, then we're headed down, 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 down. And there'll be some fighting along the way, but we're going to head down. I don't think that we're going very low, by the way. I'm not calling for any kind of superior, I'm not calling for any kind of tanking here. 18,122 would be the lowest I think it possibly go, but I really do think it's about 19,000, 20,000. I am of the mind that we're going to have a bounce at 23,000. I think that the bounce is at either 23,000, 24,000, or 23,000 right in this little red box right here because of all of this activity along this way. Maybe down to 21.5, maybe. But after this run here, we go down here, we bounce. And then after we bounce, then we are on the road. It's going to take a while, by the way. So when I start to play this out, this is going to be, let's not do that because that's stupid. But let's come back up here. Let's get kind of an idea here. As we go up, we're looking at this thing, maybe capping out and then coming back down. And then it's going to go slow. It's going to go slow. It's going to go slow until we get into the range. And then we're going to get sent off. And if it looks like that, as we zoom it out, right? If we get that little bump, then what are we looking at here? Right now we're looking at the day chart. If we did that on the day chart, which I can't believe I fucking did that on the 1 hour chart, but you get my point. That takes us through May and June. So the numbers that I'm giving you take us out a few months. So over the next few months, it starts to play out and it starts to move towards that upside. Now, in the meantime, we get capital starting to come into the market because they want to layer themselves in, and they are probably either layered in already or are looking at this little box or this little box right here. Now, remember, institution is very shrewd. They're very shrewd. They do make sure that they take advantage of all possible and potential opportunities. So just remember that. But also remember, we're in the bull run. Okay. So we are in the upside of this market. We're no longer, if we head lower than 16,600 right now, or what is it down here? 15,400. If we head lower than 15,400, first of all, it would be a flash in the pan, right? We're not going that low. But if it did happen for any reason, then it would be one of those flash things within an hour. We're down here in the 14.7s, and then the next thing you know, we're at 16, 17, 18,000, and we're just rocketing back up. And we have some sideways movement and catch a couple of different levels along the way. But yeah, we get in super low like that one more time. Then look, I'll tell everybody here, stop whatever the hell you're doing. Take everything out of everything except Volt and NGN and Decanect and Metapolitans when it launches. Take everything else that you have and throw it at Bitcoin, because Bitcoin's going to run absolutely out of its mind at that point. So that's what I would be saying at that spot, right? So that's my conspiracy. Now, let's move on here. Volt Inu, 2 major updates in the pipeline. That's it for what is known. So, start of the bull run is bringing out many underperformers to the limelight in the crypto market. Volt Inu, alts, crypto Twitter, blah, blah, blah. And then you got the news crypto over here. And it's just really, it's an article talking about Volt Inu on how it's garnering attention and how it's continuing to just keep a pump going. So if you want to, definitely go to Volt Inu official and check that out. Also, Wagmi Games. We got to talk about Wagmi Games because this is starting to get a little bit crazy. Now, we're not seeing it in price action, just so you guys understand. Like, this is not a price action item at this point. This is behind the scenes, even though it is public. This is basically a behind the scenes sort of thing. So we're sitting at a 14 million market cap right now. 6484 is the number. You're seeing that little trend. This is where we were talking about for a long time. And I said, it's got to bust out of here for anything to happen. Well, it busted out. It used it as support. It's still pointing upwards. Like, we've got this really have a long kind of trend line here of this thing moving up. So if we just kind of project out and stop playing around and just say, this is where we think it's going to go. If it continues, at least on the trajectory that it's on, then within a month, that does look like a month. Well, by July, we're dropping a 0. Now, I think it goes faster than that. I don't think it takes that long. But I get this feeling that we're on the verge of maybe at least a 10 or 20x. That's just my opinion. But Brent Peace is the former head of operations at Electronic Arts, and he had Industrial Toys, which was another one of his. That was his pet project over there. But seeing a figure of Brent's caliber rocking Wagmi Games on his LinkedIn bio is truly humbling. In just 7 days, his expertise and connections have already taken us to the next level. What does that mean? Now, I don't know what that means, but I assume it means something pretty sweet, because if you're getting an inroad in with somebody who's in the know in the gaming spectrum, right, then I would think that that probably allows you to have a lot of eyes that would not normally look at you looking at you. And I think that that results in gaming, metaverse. I think this results in some serious pump that's getting ready to come for Wagmi Games. So remember, it's 5% in, 5% out. So if you're looking to make that move, tax is 5% for both directions. So it's a 10% turnaround on the taxes. And as you can see right here, chart's not incredibly active, but it does have some trading volume. The trading volume just kind of continues to pick up as we move, right? 22,000, not significant, but not horrible. And as this goes, by the way, I think it is important for us to point out, according to right here, according to CoinMarketCap, this is just a degen shit play, right? This is just one of those DEX tool things that are not covered. It's just on Uniswap. I get this feeling that very, very rapidly, some of the connections that Brent might have are going to get it listed on some big exchanges that are going to want to have trading volume. So I think that we're about to witness something very, very special with Wagmi Games. Now, listen, I could be wrong. It's at the end of it, it's just a game, right? But it's the start of an ecosystem. And Wagmi Games is in its infancy. Like, it really hasn't even had just the game come out yet. Because after the game comes out, it's no longer just a game. Right now, it's just a game. But when it comes out, then they turn their eyes to the next big thing. And what's the next big thing? Probably a shooting game. Also, maybe an RPG coming, a futuristic, maybe even an MMO. So from just a game, it becomes just an entire ecosystem. And do remember, NFTs, comic books, there's a lot to look at when you're looking at Wagmi Games. And it would be unfortunate if you slept on it. But hey, you do your own research. And if you agree with me, do your thing. If you don't agree with me, move on to the next one. Shiba Doge, Burn token. Just so you guys know, one time Burn launched, and I was in Burn for 1 ETH, and I was driving because there was something going on. I had like a death in the family, and so I'm driving, and I stop, and when I stop, it's now 2 ETH, and then when I stop again, it's 3 ETH, and then when I stop again, it's 4 ETH. So then I took the 3 ETH out, and I left the 1 ETH in. And then it returned back to normal, and that 1 ETH went down to 0.25 or something like that. And then I exited, and I don't have any burn. I'm not holding any burn tokens right now. But as you can see right here, 26.9 ETH burn, ETH buy of burn tokens. So deflationary.com is where you come over here and you look at the burn token. This was one of the first ones, by the way, that came out that allowed you to actually take the token off the blockchain. This was one where just like BRL does, this took it completely off of the chain. And why does that? Whoops, copy. And we have burn right here. Kind of interested now to look at it from the beginning, and it's still way down from the beginning, but you can see this, like this original run up right here, like it went absolutely bonkers. And so I sold the top of it, and then it came down, and I sold like probably right here at about 25%, and then it just continued to kind of dwindle here for a long time. Now it's making a move back to the upside. If you look at this and you look at where it is in just the last little while, let's consider it since December, I want to say. Yeah. So since December, the play here has been a nice little run up of 106%. So it's not without a nice little pump that it's had, again, only if you bought the bottom. But if you did buy the bottom around the end of December, by the way, don't forget this at the end of this December. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't forget that all of this, it all just happens again way down the line, that kind of shit. What happened here is going to happen again. But anyway, massive buy here, 26 ETH for Shiba Doge's burn token. And the Shiba Doge NFTs have launched. So now check out the sneak peek of the Terareum iOS. You can see that right here. Actually really looks pretty clean. Looks like it really looks a lot like Coinbase, the way it's set up and it's lined up. Now that does not. That actually looks like Binance. So yeah, and I don't see futures yet. So I think that's something that's going to be added a little bit later. So but the point to it is it's definitely a working and functioning prototype, and we should see it very, very soon. So let's get super excited about that one. Continuing to build in that bear market, and I do think that there's still some life. I've not sold my Terareum. I don't plan on selling my Terareum. I intend to hold on to that for a long period of time. Just see what happens here. Bull run. So if you haven't already, I do believe there might be a pinned there might be a pinned audio, and that pinned audio in BRL is a little bit about what they're doing for the next little while, some ideas of the future. And if you don't know, the bat signal went up and Modi showed up in town. For those of you that don't know what that means that Modi's been working on a project for a while, and all of a sudden I got a voicemail today from Modi out of nowhere. Brother, let me paraphrase this. Brother, it's getting close. I'm almost ready. Brother, here we go. So in case you ever heard Modi. So anyway, so I got the message. So Modi is back. His new project is almost ready. And that new project, by the way, is going to be attached to Bull Run Life. So if you haven't checked out Bull Run Life, you might want to at least consider making your own decision. By the way, for the benefit of those with flash photography, I took my, what do you call it out? Let's, connect. I went into the staking and I took out my USDC. So I have $2 in USDC left, but it was like $140 something or something like that. So, like it hasn't been great, but I made $200 off of it so far, and it's still worth 3,600, which is pretty significant still, right? So, yeah, I mean, overall, I just want to hold this for a while. I want to see some value on it go up. And then continue to get rewards off of it. Now, the one thing that I will point out is we're in a bear market. We're in a tight market. We're in a market where, you're not getting very much trading volume. So when you look over here at BRL, the rewards that I'm getting, $145, something like that, are based off almost insignificant trading volume. But what happens when the trading volume goes 10x or 20x from where it is? Well, then the rewards do the same thing. So if those rewards had done that, and we were looking at a bull market and this thing was running in a bull market with a $200,000 volume or something like that, then I would have been looking at several $1,000s that I would have been cashing out just for hodling this for a period of time. So I think I'm gonna hold on to BRL for a long period of time, let it ride. I'm gonna see what Modi's thing does. Like, I think they really are onto something. And the value, by the way, if you're wondering, like, what is the value on Bull Run Life? Well, the value is in staking, because the staking is producing a reward for you in USDC that you can cash out. Right now, it's not that much, but at some point, very soon, if that goes up to 100%, then it's going to be a significant amount. if it goes up to 120 or 130, again, if it goes up 10x, that's going to be 181 projected APR off of what is right now $3,600. So the amount the amount that you get each and every day could be substantial, including what Modi's working on, which is going to be attached to it in some way. And you need to have 5 NFTs to get 100% of your USDC distribution. So go pick up the NFTs over here. And I mean, get staking and get ready for when it does run. It's not running yet. It's not bull running, but it will bull run when the bull run becomes a bull run. So if you didn't already, you missed out on Hex. You could probably get in there another 2 or 3x, but man, that was a big play. MMAI up to 40.46, having a nice little run over here. Decanect up 57 that's 5.7 cents. I did have a discussion, by the way, on some technical stuff on Decanect tonight about some changes that are. Decablock is going to be a very cool thing. And I can't talk too much about it because I'm not authorized and I don't have all the details right now to talk about how this thing is going to play out, but it is going to play out and it's going to be super cool. Imagine being on this page right here that we're on right now. Imagine not having this over here. Imagine that you're looking at that, and over here you have maybe some tabs or something, and you have the same information here, or you can hit this button and you could swap over, and it's trivia, and you can earn crypto while you're watching the charts. Or what if you could click down here on a Netflix API and start watching your favorite Netflix show while you're watching the charts? If you like chart watching, imagine if you clicked on here, and you guys know how you go into Telegram all the time and you play those little stupid games, where you got to hold on to the mouse or you got to, press buttons to try to keep running and all that stupid shit. What if you could just do that while you're watching the charts over here, looking for a play or looking for an opportunity? It's trying to make it inclusive, trying to make it something that people want to do while they're looking at charts. Like it seems like a very cool idea. So you can stare at the Bitcoin charts. And by the way, want to integrate some indicators. So when we're looking at it, let's throw in, we want to see some Bollinger Bands so that we have an idea of what the volume is on something. When the volume tightens up, what do we know? That it trends sideways. So we can start looking at that. The Bollinger Bands are tightening up here, so it's going to trend sideways. You know what I mean? We can look at this this shit over here, but we can add that into one big indicator that everybody just gets, and it tells you when to buy, when to sell. If it looks bullish on the chart, it turns red. If it looks bullish on the chart, it turns green. If it looks bearish, and it turns red, and it gets more red as it gets more bearish. You know what I mean? Just try to have some fun and some interactivity with these charts and make them engaging and fun to use. So that's the idea anyway. Working on it, we'll let you know. SHIB 1089, 1090, Terra 3041, Kato at 1412, Saitama 2142, Floki 3912. We already talked about Wagmi, Volt 1839. 2 announcements coming. I don't know what they are, but we'll see them when they get here. I don't have any idea at this point what they are, but certainly hope that it's going to be something awesome, because I really like to see something awesome happen, especially for the community, just to get that little payoff for the people at the top who've been waiting. There's been some very patient people, not a lot, by the way, but some very patient people that bought the top a long time ago. And, I'd like to see them get made whole because this has been a long ride, and I'm way up, so I don't have anything to complain about. But I'm sure that there's 100 holders, 200 holders, maybe 300 holders up here. I really like to see them made whole, so they feel good. 69.53 on Lillian. Bone at $1.17. Bone's having a struggle, but we did find out some stuff. I'll be talking about it on my SHIB video tomorrow about the absolute insane, bonkers, crazy shit. And listen, you should. We should decide. By the way. I'm not going to take sides, right? I'm not going to take sides on it because I don't really care one way or another. However, it is important to point out that Shytoshi and I think his name is Defend. Shytoshi has been all about SHIB, but all of these other guys that have been working there for for SHIB for a long time. Well, they're out here shilling PAW and Kunatori and all these different tokens. They're not focused on SHIB anymore. They're focused on every other token because they're trying to get rich off of other projects. And that's probably not very cool. And that's probably not very SHIB centric like you would want in a team. So, you know, there's some shit going on in the background, and they've gone a long way to try to turn Shytoshi into the villain of this. But if they're out shilling other projects, and they can do that, by the way, but if they're out shilling other projects with an incomplete SHIB, and their idea was we're going to get SHIB running, et cetera, that seems like bullshit to me. So I don't know exactly I don't know everything that's going on. I got some of the stuff that's going on, but we're going to look into it, and we'll talk about it very, very soon. BRL down to $1.01. You don't want to see that. You want to see that a little higher. NGN down to $1. Oh my God, I'm only at 50x. Like, come on. What are we doing here? Really, right? This thing's going to go to $10 one day. Wiz protocol at 22.29. Ordinal Doge still struggling, 48.79. But we do need the market to really get kind of flipped around, and God damn it. So we're probably not going to get that 1780 again. Like, I was hoping, by the way, that I would get one of those pumps, one of those dumps all the way back down to that 1780 line, because I'm not buying unless it comes back down here. You know, I'll sit on the sidelines and not do it as opposed to buy up here and watch it come down here and get pissed off and stare at the chart. You know what I mean? So I'm going to be shrewd about it. So, yeah. All right, guys. And that's it. So it's not financial advice. My name is Bleeves. I'm always right. Thank you so much for tuning in. I know you love the hair. You don't have to say anything about it. I know. Right? And I think we should point it out. It didn't take a competition for me to do it. I don't know what Pablo and Jake are waiting for. I did it because I'm volted. Does that make me the most volted influencer? I don't know if that makes me the most volted influencer. You know, I'm not sure of that. I don't know. I don't think we're keeping track. I mean, I'm not sure that we're keeping track. However, if we were keeping track, then there would probably be a chart on the Great Moonshot. And oh shit, there is a chart on the Great Moonshot. And I am the #1 influencer on Volt. So I am the most volted, the most electrifying volted man in cryptocurrency. Holy shit. That seems pretty cool, right? I mean, that does seem pretty cool. I mean, I feel like it's pretty cool. Seems pretty neat to me. Doesn't seem like, you know, it's not nothing, right? I mean, we do have to agree that it's not nothing to be the most volted man in cryptocurrency. That is significant, and that is very, 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 very volted. By the way, I did dress up the exit video. I did change it up a little bit. So now, without further ado, we're going to do the exit video, and it looks the same as the previous video, except it's a little shorter and a little more high tech. But yeah, we'll talk to you guys later, and we'll see you for breakfast.
Mr. Pine Cones come a long, long way, so everybody get sideways. Sing it.